Ohio State 48, Michigan State 3. The Buckeyes get it done. A new big win. Fourth quarter 12:07. Something to play for over these final 12 minutes if this margin holds. This would be the most lopsided result in the OSU-MSU rivalry. Biggest previous was 420 OSU win in 79. Bill Rabino votes at Dispatch November 11, 2017 13:48. Well, that was eventful. Ohio State's Damon Webb picked off a deep ball and returned it to the MSU 16, drawing a late hit penalty as well. But then a Barrett fade pass was too short, and despite offensive pass interference, MSU's Justin Lane made an acrobatic pick right back. Barrett's passing line OSU season in a nutshell: perfection, with two bad mistakes: 14 for 21, 183 yards, 2 TDs, 2 INTs. Third quarter 0:00. Ohio State 48, Michigan State 3. The quarter ends with another Sean Neuenberger field goal. Easy day in Columbus, 536. Ohio State is frustrating. First 7 wins: OSU 7.6 yards per play and 51 points per game, opponents 4.1 and 16, respectively. 2 losses: opponents 6.9 yards per play and 43 points per game, OSU 5.4 yards per play and 20 points per game. Today, with 20 minutes remaining, OSU 9.4 yards per play, MSU 2.4. The good Ohio State is the best team in the country, and the quality that the Buckeyes have has made the two duds even more confusing. You can't say they're not a big game team because, frankly, the Iowa game doesn't qualify, plus, their dramatic comeback win over Penn State happened to be the biggest game of the week. This is a very, very good team, and it will once again rank quite high after Sunday's SPE rankings update. Part of that is because of everybody else. With their current ratings, most of the current SP top 10 would NT have ranked in last year's top 10, but part is because of the ceiling they've shown now in 8 of 10 games this year. Teams with this ceiling aren't supposed to also have the floor the Buckeyes gave us a glimpse of in Iowa City. Weird team. Weird year. Michigan State just punted again, by the way, 917. Ohio State 45, Michigan State 3. Sparty goes 3 and out again, but Ohio State merely kicks a field goal this time. It's important to change the script up every now and then. 14:06. Ohio State 42, Michigan State 3. It took Ohio State 3 plays to make D'Antonio's field goal choice look even sillier. Barrett lobs a jump ball to Benjamin Victor, who beats his defender for the ball, then runs through a desperation tackle attempt for a score. From the body control, to fighting off contact, making the catch, and breaking the tackle, just a ridiculously special play from Ben Victor. Pic.twitter.com Ra96R1PZVZ, Landgrant Holy Land at Landgrant 33 November 11, 2017 Halftime. Some stats: total yards OSU 320, MSU 104, rushing yards OSU 253, MSU 55, JT Barrett OSU 6 for 9 for 67 yards, 1 TD, and 1 INT, plus 7 carries for 42 yards and 2 scores. Pretty much a perfect half until that last awful pass. Brian Lueck MSU 8 for 22 for 49 yards and a pick. He's thrown 13 more times than Barrett and has 18 fewer passing yards. Suboptimal. Mike Weber and J.K. Dobbins OSU 18 carries for 223 yards and 2 scores, both by Weber, plus 3 catches all by Dobbins for 18 yards and another score. L.J. Scott and Gerald Holmes MSU 10 carries for 36 yards, 20 on Scott's very first carry, 1 catch for 4 yards. Second quarter 0:00. Ohio State 35, Michigan State 3. Give Mark D'Antonio partial credit for briefly acknowledging reality. MSU works the ball 24 yards to the OSU 19 with 2 seconds left. Arnett got injured in the process, by the way, which seems like a prime opportunity for a meaningless, at least were not scoreless anymore, field goal. But the Spartans line up to go for the touchdown, until Urban Meyer calls timeout. Then D'Antonio elects to take the 3 points. Okay, 0:59. Another small victory. David Dowell takes advantage of a woeful Barrett pass and picks it off. Barrett had a man over the top but threw a line drive, and Dowell stepped in front of it. He returns it to the OSU 43, so Sparty may be able to get some points before half. 207. It's all about the small victories at this point. Yes, another MSU possession ended with a turnover and Arnett interception. But to the Spartans 8 up 4 minutes first B they converted a fourth hand short conversion, and COSU's Dremont Jones was ejected for targeting. That's something, right? Okay, it's technically nothing, but work with me. In blogging a blowout. 616. Ohio State 35, Michigan State 0. Ullman. 1 play, 82 yards, touchdown. Mike Weber gets to the second level of the Spartans' defense and finds no defenders there. He already has 161 yards and 2 scores on just 8 carries, and guys, I'm not one to jump to conclusions, but I'm thinking I know who's going to win this game. 627. Michigan State punts. But the Spartans at least ate some clock. 753. First down, Michigan State. Sorry, it's been a while. Got excited. 921. Ohio State 28, Michigan State 0. Barrett to Marcus Ball for 13 yards, Dobbins 4-yard carry, and then swing pass to Dobbins for 12 and another touchdown. Call me crazy, but I think Ohio State's responding pretty well to last week's embarrassment. 10-17. Oh dear, Michigan State doesn't even go 3 and out this time. The Spartans go 2 and fumble. Lewis scrambles for 8 yards on 3rd and 10 but is stripped by Tyquan Lewis. It's recovered by Damon Arnett at the MSU 25, 11:35. Ohio State 21, Michigan State 0. Michigan State has no idea how to stop Ohio State right now. Ohio State's third touchdown drive features 9 carries for 53 yards, 32 from Weber, who's having a lovely day, a desperate pass interference penalty on an open bomb, and, finally, another Barrett touchdown. This is growing formulaic. First quarter 0-0-0. Woof. MSU goes 3 and out in 17 seconds, with 3 Lewick incompletions. HE's 2 for 10 for 7 yards, and the second quarter will begin with another punt. 0-1-7. Ohio State 14, Michigan State 0. Michigan State's best defensive play has been have Ohio State make a bad snap. The Buckeyes' third drive is methodical and successful, highlighted by a quick sideline pass to Paris Campbell that turns into a 25-yard gain and capped by an easy 4-yard score by Barrett. Then, to make matters worse for Sparty, a shaky Ohio State kick coverage unit destroys Connor Hayward's return attempt, and MSU will start its fourth drive at the 5. 412. Michigan State threw 113 passes over the last 2 weeks, and Lewis on pace for about another 40 today. Unfortunately HES also on pace for about 11 or 12 completions. Another run, then 2 incompletions, 3 and out for the Spartans, and Hartbarger's third punt is fair caught at the 27. 511. MSU gets a stop, with help from a bad snap. A 2nd and 7 hike zips over Barrett's head for a huge loss, and Osu goes 3 and out. MSU nearly blocks the ensuing punt and nearly gets a roughing the kicker penalty, too. Drew Chrisman's punt is down 52 yards away, 709. Not really the response MSU wanted. A short run by Scott, who evidently tweaked an ankle and had to get it taped up on that first drive, followed by a pressured, off-target throw by Lewick, a false start, and another pressured ink. Hartbarger's punt gets a good roll to the OSU 29. Lewick and Scott each had nice runs on that first drive, but if the line can't buy Lewick at least a little bit of time, the run game isn't going to matter for long. 814. Ohio State 7, Michigan State 0. Okay, that was easy. The Buckeyes drive 86 yards in just 6 plays, and in very Ohio State fashion JT Barrett rushes for 10 yards and flips a quick pass to J.K. Dobbins for 7, Dobbins carries for 15 and 7, then Mike Weber bursts up the middle for 47 yards and a score. Sparty better have more to offer than that. 933. Hit and miss early drive for Ohio State's defense. L.J. Scott rips off a 20-yard run on the game's second play, but a Malik Harrison sack knocks the Spartans way off schedule. 3rd and 18 end of the drive, right nope. Brian Lewick dodges a couple of shaky tackle attempts for a 16-yard gain, then sneaks forward for a 4th down conversion. The well dries up when Lewick is sacked again on 3rd and 7, this time by Nick Bosa, but Jake Hartbarger's punt is fair caught at the 14. Flips the field, 8 up nearly 6 minutes. That's a success in the D'Antonio book. Maybe it's the crowd mics, but, damn, this crowd is silent. 1500. Michigan State will take the ball first. Man, I just have no idea what to expect here. The Spartans almost always play their best game against the Buckeyes and made us so again today, but there's just no telling how Ohio State will respond to a truly embarrassing performance. Mayor teams tend to respond well to losses, but they've never had to respond to this before. The Buckeyes are down a couple of linebackers, which can't be a great thing coming off of your most disappointing defensive performance of the year, but surely they bounce back anyway, right? Maybe pre-game on paper, Ohio State SP gives the Buckeyes a 78% chance of winning, with a projected margin of 13.5 points. SP still really likes Ohio State overall. The upside the Buckeyes have shown in 7 wins dwarfs that of virtually anybody else, enough to offset one mediocre performance against Oklahoma and one miserable one against Iowa. They still rank second in SP despite their ratings falling quite a bit. That may seem strange, but realize this: Vegas, which also uses computers, likes the Buckeyes even more. Ohio State is a 15.5-point favorite over the Spartans. MSU is good, but did need some turnovers luck to get by Michigan and Penn State. Based on national averages for fumble recovery rates and the ratio of interceptions to passes broken up, the Spartans' expected turnover margin in those 2 huge wins was +0. In real life, it was +7. The average turnover is worth about 5 points worth of field position lost by the offense and gained by the defense, so this discrepancy was worth around 35 points to the Spartans, who won these games by a combined 7. The turnovers god was far less kind to Sparty in a tight win over Minnesota and an overtime loss to Northwestern. I'm pretty sure that's a trade State was willing to make. One thing we can be pretty sure of: the best version of Michigan State will show up in Columbus. The Spartans are 33 against Ohio State since 2011. They knocked the Buckeyes out of the national title race in both 2013 and 2015, and they nearly pulled off 2 other momentous upsets in 2012. An eventual 7-win MSU fell by just 1 point, 17-16, to a Buckeye team that finished 120. In 2016, D'Antonio's worst squad, one that would finish 39, fell by a 17-16 margin to an Ohio State that went 112 and reached the playoff. Sparty tends to show up against Brutus, and it's impossible to know Ohio State's mindset after what might have been the most inept loss of Urban Meyer's career. On paper, this one's easy to project. We'll see what happens in Ohio Stadium. As things currently stand, here are your Big Ten East Championship odds, based on those same SP win projections: Ohio State 77.3%, Michigan State 21.3%, Michigan 0.9%, Penn State 0.5%, Rutgers 0.0004%. That seems like a comfortable spot for Ohio State to be in, but it's temporary. One game will flip the odds pretty dramatically. East odds: if Ohio State beats Michigan State on Saturday, Ohio State 98%, Michigan 1.2%, Michigan State 0.5%, Penn State 0.3%. East odds: if Michigan State beats Ohio State, Michigan State 94.7%, Ohio State 3.9%, Penn State 1.2%, Michigan 0.2%, Rutgers 0.002%. When Penn State's Saquon Barkley told MSU players, "We're playing for a Big Ten East championship right now," he was only partially right. The loser was going to be all but eliminated from the race, and as you see, Penn State basically was, but MSU's win got the Spartans a title shot. Current odds seem to favor Ohio State, but by about 3 p.m. ET on Saturday, we'll know most of what we need to know.